I look like a complete idiot. Ah, not again. That's too high. Just this wiring under here is just absolutely horrendous. Oh my gosh, my hood just flew up. I knew I smelled tranny fluid. Ah, oh. Ah. That is absolutely disgusting. This is my 1985 Chevrolet K20. Yes, you saw that it is over an hour-long vidya. I apologize for that, but I think it's gonna be kind of cool because we're gonna get this thing hopefully running and driving again, which it hasn't done in over 5 freaking years. Now, I've owned this truck for close to 15 years now. Bought it back in old Antarctica, or Kentucky, I reckon you could say. I've neglected it quite a few times over owning it over the years, but I've also done quite a bit to it. Now, a lot of you guys have probably seen this truck a few times, but it used to be lifted with 37s on it. Ended up taking that off a couple months ago and put 33s on it and some different wheels. Just didn't want it as high as it was in the 37s. It was a little obnoxious. Wanted it down almost stock. Put a 3-inch rough country lift on it, so it's still got the leaf springs and everything. But we're going to be doing, this thing just doesn't freaking run great right now. If it even runs at all, there's a lot of issues that I got to go through. It sat out through like 3 winters on my trailer in the back property and didn't do anything with it. So there's a lot to do. First thing is first is I just took this carburetor off. Now, when I bought this truck, it actually had a 350 in it. My buddy Dang and I actually ripped that 350 out and put a new Create 383 stroker in it. It doesn't look so clean and nice and new. That's just because it's we mudded with it quite a bit. This is a 750 Holly that I put in. And this thing was just an absolute mess and wreck. So what I did is I took this out and I completely rebuilt it. Took everything apart, cleaned everything, rebuilt it, put new jets in. One thing I am going to do, because I live so high, I'm so high on life. No, but my elevation is so high, I live at about 6,500 feet, is I'm going to replace these jets and this power valve. Let's see what number this guy is. This is a 6.5. So I'll probably go down to like a 4.5, or I don't know, I'll probably go down 2 or so. Was on a forum and found some people near me that have some hot rods and stuff that this is what they like to run. These are a 72, I believe. Yep. So I'll probably go down to a 70. Just go down 2 sizes in each, maybe a 70 or 69, something like that. I don't know if they carry those, but that'd be badass if they had some 69ers. Ooh. So I'm going to get those rebuild kits on the way. You know, gaskets and stuff don't look horrible, but might as well replace them anyways. My mixer screws, gaskets did not come out. They got wedged in there. And you can kind of see it's pretty nasty. I tried to get as much out as possible. But that's pretty, yeah, you can see that one there. It's kind of falling apart. So get some of those. Accelerator pump actually is brand new. I just put that guy on, so I think if it does come with a new one, I'll put that in. Gonna get this all cleaned up, put it in a little brake clean bath, scrub it all up together, and then I'll probably do a chem dip on it just to get it even better. It's pretty nasty. So that has been completely rebuilt. That's the first thing. It has not been dialed in, so we're going to be doing that as well. Timing was way off as well. I don't know if the distributor got moved and moving it back in here or whatever, but the timing was reading. I put my timing light on it. It was reading at 0. It was reading at top dead center, which I don't even know how it wasn't really running great at all. Barely being able to get it started. Sorry, I got to spit that out. So we got to mess with the timing. We got to check vacuum. We're going to do a bunch of that today, along with a bunch of other stuff. This is footage compiled of over the past 5-6 months, I reckon. That's why it's an hour long. So enjoy this little Outlaw special of me working on my beautiful piece of machinery here and trying to get it running and driving again. Will it? I have no clue at this point. So I reckon you're just going to have to watch and find out for yourself. Enjoy, folks. All right, so these 5 steps right here should get me running and driving on the road perfectly. We need to shim the starter. I put a brand new Power Master starter in it, and it was working great the first 2 times I went to go start it, and then it started clicking real bad, which I think I have a clip of that from yesterday. And then I remembered that after I put the starter in, I forgot to shim it. I didn't know if it was going to need a shim or not. Obviously it does. So I got the shim. So I'm going to shim that, and hopefully that takes care of that issue. It's hitting the flex plate just fine. I just think it needs to be shimmed just a little bit here. We need to adjust the carb floats. So after the new carburetor is on and everything like that, I have not messed with anything except the idler screw, just to trying to get it running to check the timing. So we're going to adjust the carb floats here today. The needle and seat, just make sure they're good and the levels are perfect. And then we're going to do a vacuum test. Well, actually, these aren't in specific order. They should be. We're going to recheck the timing, the initial and the advance, to make sure it's good. Initial should be sitting right around 18 right now. We'll make sure that it's advancing correctly. And then we're going to do this vacuum test with adjusting the carb floats to where we can get the highest point of mercury to where it's just purring and it's running perfectly. So we're going to do these in conjunction with each other and rechecking the timing just to make sure it's all correct. Because sometimes when you mess with the carb a little bit, it's going to mess with your timing a little bit. So I just want to make sure that obviously timing is numero uno, along with all of the carb stuff. And then I need to adjust my shifter, which we're actually probably going to do first, because the shifter, I put a brand new Jenny floor shifter in. I obviously, if you guys have been watching along and keep it updated, we put a new transmission in. So this used to be a 4-speed Bulldog, and now we put a new TH350 in, built by Monster Transmission. We also got a brand new NP205 transfer case built by my buddy over at Transfer Case Solutions, which he's great. He does a lot of work on eBay, through Instagram, stuff like that. So those are brand new in there, all ready to go. But I hooked the new shifter up and it's super soft right now, so I need to tighten some things up and make sure that it's perfect and shifting, because I did drive it yesterday and I couldn't even tell what gear I was in, and drive was feeling like second. So I need to make sure that is correct. It felt stiff to me at first, but once I tightened it up a little bit yesterday, and I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, this is way better. So we're going to do that first. I think I'm going to just rock with the GoPro so we can you can follow along, since I'm filming myself today, and we'll start checking these babies off, and hopefully a ripper by the end of the day. So I need to lengthen this just a little bit more, pull a little bit more of the threads out on either side, and then the shifter should be good. So I'm going to do that really quick, and then we'll go upstairs and check that some dick. Alright, just adjusted it. Let's pop up in here. Oh, so here's the new Jenny shifter. Oh, it already feels a lot tighter. So we're in park now. Reverse. There we go, popping in down to neutral. Neutral. Drive. Good. Second. Good. First. Alright, I think that's better. I think we're going to go ahead and work with that. Alright, going to take my green marker here. We adjusted the shifter. Check, baby. That's one. Now, I'm going to shim the starter real quick, just so we can do all these testings with the truck on, and we won't have any problems starting it. Let's go ahead and do that. I look like a complete idiot. Alright. We got a 9/16. Oh, let me grab the shim. We should just need to take one bolt out, and then the other bolt can stay in. Alright, let's see here. Oh, let's get under here without hitting this GoPro on anything. Whoa, GoPro's going down. Hold on, folks, I'm got you. Hold on. I'm gonna have to put it down. Let's try that. Battery's off. Let's get this shim in here. Get in there. It might be easier to take this thing out completely, but we're coming out. Oh, watch your face. Oh, I see. That was in the way. The solenoid was in the way. Okay. I got you. I see. All right. Let's go back on there. Shim's in. All right. let's try to start her up. All right, go ahead and hook up the battery. And we will try this again. And hopefully be ready to tune everything else. Let's just see if it kicks over. Fingers crossed. I don't want to go back to the store and get any shims. That's the shim that came with it. But we'll see. Look at that. Beautiful. All right, I think we're set. Obviously, I should actually start it, but I got a couple things to grab before I start everything else. So I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna have to do this alone, which is gonna be fun because I have to get in here because I can't freaking reach over because I got to get to the back one. I'm gonna start this guy up. I'm gonna get it up to temp, make sure we're good. And then I'm gonna adjust these bowls to make sure the fuel is coming out right at the bottom of the threads here. Get on the other side as well, adjust the needle and seat however it needs to be. Get those good first, then I'm gonna put a vacuum gauge on it and we'll adjust our float screws with the vacuum gauge. After all that, we'll make sure our timing and everything is still correct. It should be, but you never know. So I reckon it's time to just start this baby up and let her rip. I've been saying let her rip too much. Maybe we need to freaking cut some of that crap out. I can see myself in this GoPro and I'm just so disappointed. Almost forgot. Shim starter. Done. All right, gonna start her up. Ah, not again. All right, this part of the video, I'm scratching my head. Why won't this thing freaking start? Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know what the heck's going on. I'm thinking it was like I needed to shim the starter or something because I thought maybe the little, I can't think of the word right now, the little thing that comes out the starter isn't connecting to the flywheel properly. But that wasn't the case. I got under there and my wife, every time my wife came out, she was able to start it. I was like, what the frick? Well, after doing a little more research, I noticed that whenever I was turning the key just barely, it would start every time. But when I would go to crank it hard, it would click. I go, oh, it's probably something with my ignition cylinder or the ignition switch back up in here where it's just not grabbing right or whatever. Ended up putting a new ignition cylinder in and a new ignition switch in and fixed the problem right up. I'm gonna adjust these floats real quick. Perfect. That was too high. All right, so the back one was way high, so I had to turn it down a little bit, and then the other one was good. So we should be set now. I broke my ribs doing that, trying not to get in there, but I should have just put a vacuum gauge on this. Gotta get a new column shifter, or column, excuse me. So my screws right now are a turn and a half out. It's gonna hopefully be up here in this green range, and we're gonna try to get it as high as possible. So we'll just have to do some manipulating of the screws a little bit to get it as high as possible to where it sounds good, and then we should be set. So we'll try not to burn ourselves here. So the highest I could get it to is 13 inches of mercury. So I know I'm at a higher elevation, so it's gonna be lower, but I think having the bigger cam in there also is gonna do something to it. So I thought I was gonna be able to get up at least to 15, but it's not looking that way. I've never put a vacuum gauge on it before, so this is the first time doing it. That's where it sounded the best. So I think we're pretty decent. Holy, it gets hot under there, man. Actually, I haven't checked my freaking coolant in a while. I should probably do that when it cools down just to make sure, because it is hot out. I'm gonna put the timing gun up and we're going to check timing just to make sure it's still good and make sure it's advancing okay. I don't have a timing tape on the harmonic balancer, so I can't really see exactly what the advanced timing is. So I'll probably get some and line it up, or I just don't have the gun that adjusts It just has the, you know, the one button for the light. So I went cheap back in the day. I wish I would have got the timing light, but as long as it's like advancing, I think it's going to be okay for now. And then I'll check just to make sure initial timing is still around 18 to where it sounds good. Let's go do that. We'll go ahead and check off this vacuum test because we're reading good. Doesn't seem, I mean, it was bouncing around quite a bit, but it wasn't like there was a vacuum leak bouncing around. So I think we're okay. After checking some forms and stuff like that, 13 inches of mercury is okay for this elevation and for this cammed engine. So we should be okay there. So let's go ahead and check our timing and then go on the road. The numero uno, without burning myself. We are on plug number 1. Hook up to the battery. Let's see. Oh, I topped off my coolant. It was not super low, but it was low. So I'm glad I checked that because I would have forgot. Whoa, okay, bud. We're looking for initial timing at 18. I'm gonna rev it up just to make sure that it's advancing correctly. Should be from what it sounds like. So go ahead and start her up. Hopefully the starter cooperates. It's always when, you know, the wife's down here or something and it's completely fine. And then when you're by yourself again, it'll probably click. What'd I say? But you obviously need to let your engine warm up. It was pretty warm still, but give it a minute. Oh, that didn't sound good either. Timing is super advanced. I don't exactly know what the reading was, but it was probably mid-20s. Maybe even higher than that, actually. It was probably upwards of 30. We're gonna have to retard that down. God dang it. I was ready to drive. And I hate freaking loosening this gosh dang distributor bolt. They always make it such a pain to freaking get to. I should have put it in different and moved the freaking vault. Oh, dude, what am I doing? I didn't, oh my gosh, of course it's so advanced. I still have the freaking vacuum modulator hose hooked up. God dang it. I'm so happy that I did not just f this up. Oh my gosh. Give me a second. So stupid. I just wasn't thinking, well, I need to pull this dick off here. Now my PCV valve's coming out. The freaking gas, oh god dang it, man. Always something. The rubber grommet on my PCV valve is like shredded and coming out. It just came completely out. So that's great. Oh, what the frick? How stupid. See if I can put that PCV valve back in. Looks like it's completely shredded. That could have had something to do with my vacuum too. It just came completely out like it was just kind of resting on top. Oh yeah, look at all those gases too, just coming right out. I like to inhale that. Look at this. If I can somehow make this work for now. Think. I might just try to put it back in. Oh, it just broke even more. God dang it. Some bitch went on my truck. Give me a minute, folks. Back. I was just looking online for that PCV valve grommet because this one, I was looking at just like a 350 Chevy, something like that. None of them look like this one. I don't know. I might just have to run around to stores and go find that. I got it in there, so it's going to stay somewhat decent probably until I rev it up too crazy. But I got the vacuum modulator line off from the distributor, so that's off now. So it should be, I hope it's reading normal now. We will check. Check my oil, my tranny fluid, all that stuff. We did dump out a little bit of tranny fluid yesterday because the vacuum line came off and I think it put a little bit too much pressure on the pump and just started spewing out the freaking, out my cooler lines. Oh, look underneath.
Oh, yep.
I knew I smelled tranny fluid. Oh, that's hot. Oh yeah, right on the face. Oh, god dang, man. What is going on now? You see that little sucker right there? That, if you can even see it, where that little bolt head is, that is where my kickdown cable goes. And I ended up just capping that sucker off right there completely. Now let me get out from under the truck real quick. Now I was thinking that the problem, thank you, was my transmission cooler line's leaking, and I didn't know. I was like, I couldn't really see exactly. So finally, I got under there. It wasn't my transmission cooler lines leaking. It was my kickdown cable leaking. Dude, the amount of time it took me to figure out the right, or I didn't even figure it out. The kickdown cable, which usually if you look under here, that little square port right there, it comes through that and it hooks up to the throttle little deal here, right? So the kickdown cable, you know, you don't really need it. You know, you can kind of do it manually or whatever. It just kind of automatically does it for you. If you're like on the highway and you want to freaking pass somebody and get down to a lower gear and you know, kind of speed up, whatever. So I tried figuring out why the kickdown cable kept leaking. Everything when we put the transmission in was completely tight, but the seal in these TH350 transmissions, there's like 3 different types of seals. I went through all 3. Every single one leaked. I just could not get that thing to stop leaking. I don't know what the hell was going on. I was looking up a bunch of different freaking forums and a lot of people had the same issue, and I ended up just buying this freaking cap. And I drained the transmission and went through so much tranny fluid, it was absolutely ridiculous. It smelled like a freaking Christmas tree in here, or whatever tranny fluid smells. It smells like that sweet, I don't know. But I went through so much money, time, and effort, and finally just said, I'm just going to cap this thing off and not have a kickdown cable. Put that sucker on there. No more leakage. Just going to make sure all my levels or everything are correct. Topped off my radiator and all the coolant. Make sure everything's good, and then we can take it for a drive. Maybe go get another grommet for the PCV valve so that doesn't fly off. I think we're set. But let's check this off real quick. All right. As you can see, just a bunch of old electrical tape all over the floor. My ignition starter connection was all funky and just looking like crap, so it wasn't hooked up correctly, so I cleaned up this wire. I'm going to put these back together. Just this wiring under here is just absolutely horrendous, so I'm going to put these back together. What the hell? I hear a bird. I hope there's not a bird living in here. I do have the garage door open, but I can't hear that well, and it sounded like it was inside. Anyways, I'm gonna hook this back up. Now at this point, I was looking at all the starter wiring and I got it fixed for a minute, but I said, I need to rewire all this. It just looks horrible down here. And there was, when I finally took all of the starter wiring out and got it hanging over the side of the truck, all the wires were just like chewed up from mice over the years and all this crap. And I said, you know what, I'm just going to cut all these off and I'm going to rewire it all. So I ended up rewiring it all. I haven't put it all together, but most of these wires you see here in the back that are kind of all floating around the back of the distributor, that's all the new wiring I did, and it's somewhat okay now. I need to put conduit on it and zip tie it all down so it's not hitting exhaust anywhere or whatever, but I finally got all that good, and then now our wiring issues are set and good now. I should have, hindsight 2020, when the engine was out and we put this new one in, I should have got like a painless performance kit or something like that, or rewired everything. So maybe down the road. So now I'm driving and the truck ain't shifting. I'm wondering what the hell's going on. is it another transmission issue? Because if you guys remember correctly, I have a TH350 in here now, but originally had a 4-speed Bulldog manual. And then I got a TH400 reman from a buddy that supposedly worked. It didn't. The pump was out. The clutches were freaking slipping like horrible, and it wouldn't work. So we ended up taking the 400 out, putting a new built TH350 transmission from Monster Transmission in. Got a deal on it, and I've heard some bad things about Monster, but when it wasn't shifting, I was like, man, what's going on? Like, is something wrong with this transmission? Ended up finding out my shifter. This is a new Jenny. I got a Jenny floor shifter, which are made here in Colorado. I like the idea of having a floor shifter rather than at the column. I just like it. Works super cool. I ended up doing this for the automatic. But what happened was the mount for the TH350, usually these shifters are sold for 2-wheel drive trucks or vehicles in general. With having a transfer case on it, the mounting system doesn't work. So the mounting was kind of loose and it wasn't shifting properly. So what it was doing is when I thought I was in drive, I was actually in first or second. I couldn't really tell. So I had my buddy Dan come over. We didn't film this portion, but we ended up welding up some brackets to get this thing super tight to the transmission. And now it shifts where it should be perfectly. And now we're able to get into the correct gear. So that's why it wasn't shifting when I was driving it. So I was in kind of second or first or whatever, and it wasn't actually in drive and having those 3 speeds to work with. So now we're all set with that. That was a whole nother issue in itself. One that I was racking my brain off and configuring, but I still have this freaking column shifter in here, and it's still kind of annoying because sometimes you can't, if it's down here, you can't turn your truck off. Well, you can, but it won't, move the cylinder. So you always got to have it back up in here. I've seen that Squarebody Syndicate has a new column that you can get, and it's 2 inches shorter than factory, which is a little bit nicer for getting in and out of here. And it's also a tilt, because this one isn't a tilt. So I'll probably put one of those in eventually as well to get rid of this annoying thing. So that was my first little test drive. And the first thing I obviously noticed was the brakes were undrivable. Like, it felt like I was going to die whenever I stomped on them things. So rear drums, front discs. Right now we are going to completely rip everything apart and redo them and see what they look like, because I don't ever recall doing the brakes on this thing. Apologize. Drum brakes. You get that pan, boy. It's about to get stinky up in here. So I've owned this truck for over 10 years, and I do not recall ever doing the rear brakes on this. So we're about to find out real quick what they look like. I mean, and who knows how long the dude before me did it. So it's gonna be pretty nasty. We'll take this axle out, then we'll pop it off. Let me get some gloves. Oh, you guys are in the way. Come on, get out. Oh, all right. Oh, look at that. Almost come right out. Oh, boy. This is going to be heavy. Oh my gosh. That is disgusting. That is disgusting, folks. Oh, Lord. How's my bearings? Well, bearings are still good. At least that front one. Dude, can we get up in here? Look at that. Let's just get a look at this. That is absolutely disgusting. Well, I already knew it was going to look like that because I just finished cleaning up this side. So way better now. Still had to use some of the old rusty springs and parts, but got them cleaned up with some brake clean. We good. We Gucci. Got a new drum, clean and shiny. We are ready to roll. Just waiting on some wheel studs to come in because those were pretty nasty too. Apologize it's so loud in here. It's cold. I get the heat on. Well, as you can see, still do not have rear drums on the truck. We're about to put those on right now, but I had to go first get new studs because the old ones were horrible. You need a stud in your life? Because I got the STD. All I need is you. So this is an old Squarebody 3/4 ton. So you've got to basically just pound these guys in like I just did to this one here. It's not the funnest way, especially when you don't have like a giant freaking punch to do it with. I do have this guy right here that I've been using that seems to work a little bit better. I was using my big Matco socket extension, which was doing good too. This one seems to take less hits, so we're gonna go ahead and just keep using that. I'm just kind of tearing up the end there a little bit, but it's all good. As long as it helps me get these freaking studs in, we're good. We'll grease those bearings up once again once we get her in and then put it on. And then the rear should be good. And we'll move on to the fronts. Oh, there goes a piece of it. I was just thinking that. It's like I should probably put on some freaking safety glasses just in case a piece of this wants to fly off into my freaking eyeball. It went over there somewhere, but I'm gonna go get some just to be safe. Safety third, right? Oh, yeah. That was very close. Whew, I hit myself, but I'm alive. We're okay, folks. For now. All right. Oh, I greased up the spindle here just a little bit. Greased inside on the bearings. You know, I definitely, I could have replaced them. But the seals were going to take a couple days to get. Sorry, not really on cam. So I just said, well, they seem good. Everything's good with them. Just give them a little bit more grease and we should be all right. Okay, see if I can get this on without, actually I'm going to probably spray a bunch of brake clean in here because I still see some oil on the drums. Let me get some of that. Oil and brakes don't really mix, so. Of course. The last of my bottle. I've only got about 4 cases of brake clean in the shop. Oh. Get all that oil off there. Clean that out nice. Oh, everything should be pretty good to go now. All right. Oh, I can't breathe. Yeah. This thing must weigh 60 pounds, dude. Whew. Okay, let's see if I can do this without dying here. Yep. Okay, go ahead and get our rings on. I apologize, folks. Oh, man. Whole family's freaking sick. I got sick when I came back from Kansas. And then got my wife sick. And then she got my daughter sick. And then my daughter got me sick again within a week of me being sick. And then I got it even worse. And then it's literally just, it just keeps going. And it's like 2 sicknesses each. I got my wife sick again, and then my wife got my daughter sick. It's just like, it's a revolving frickin' door of sickness, man. It's no bueno. Alright, let's see if, get this ring on. I'll probably grab I think they say like 100 pounds, 115 pounds of torque on these. So, we'll go ahead and get these tightened, and then hopefully we're all set. Might need to adjust the drums again. I feel like I got them pretty decent. Nah, that needs to be tighter. Okay, that's good enough. Who's killing me? There we go. Move on to the other side. I'll have to go run into town, grab some more studs. Had to order them, special order them in. Still got it, baby. No, I don't. All right, about to pack some bearings here in the new hub and rotor for the front. Just doing it all, baby. I just went to go grab the wheel studs for the rear, and man, I think I'm just gonna have to stop going to O'Reilly's, man. Those guys, like, well, it's one guy in particular. He just happens to be the manager. Every time he puts in an order for me over the phone, it never ends up getting ordered. And I ordered them last Friday. It's Monday. And I went in there, and he's like, oh, they were never ordered. I'm like, what the frick, dude? So I'm more of a Napa guy. I like Napa, and I've used Napa all the time. But I go to O'Reilly's a lot because I have a customer account, and I get a big deal on a lot of stuff. So that's the reason why I go to O'Reilly's. But anyways, I figure I'll start working on the fronts until those studs show up in the next couple hours. So I'm going to get these rear bearings out here, pack them with some grease, get a little dirty, and just got the seals in. Had to wait a couple days on the seals. Make sure they freaking fit. Yep, okay. And yeah, we'll get these set in here, get it ready to go at least for when I'm ready to move to the front, which should be right after I get those freaking studs in. God dang it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Give it a little spin-a-rooney here. Got to love it. Yeah, I'm just going to get out of this jacket now. Grab a mallet while I'm still clean. Oh yeah, just freaking goopy, baby. It's nice having this little, I mean, you can hand pack them too if you want. This is just the way I like doing it. There we go. While I'm waiting for frickin' O'Reilly's, I'll go ahead. Oh, that's weird. That's a frickin' Phillips. Usually these are T10. I'll go ahead and take these off, and I'm going to replace my headlights, which have been needed since I pretty much owned this truck 15 years ago or whatever it's been. Oh, Lord. Sheesh. All right. Nice. Okay. Oh. Now we can go ahead and get these good. So if I can remember correctly, I think these are the brights and these are the regular headlights. Should go test that just to make sure. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure because this has got the ultra reflective crap on it. Let's see. Brights? Oh, brights at the top. Okay. Wait, are we? Or are all the brights out, actually? Let's see. Yeah. Okay. There's your look at before. And after. Man, looks way nicer. The amount of dirt in there could have filled up a frickin' 200-foot hole. God dang. Well, let's test them out and see if they work. Headlights. Put dielectric grease on everything too. Golly, man, this frickin' they were corroded as hell, but hopefully that helps. Brights. Nice. All right, what do we got going on here? Got a little double action. Well, it's probably just a faulty headlight relay or something, which I need to replace the brake light relay as well. The little toggle deal that hits the brake. That's not working anymore either. So it's always something, man. We'll get that done, but at least we got these in. At least we got headlights, so we're good there. I replaced the bulbs in the rear too, but I still, because I put a new transmission in, I still need to put a new switch for the new transmission for the reverse lights, and then obviously the brake relay too. So anyways, my wife is heading back with the new wheel studs for the rear. Everything is already set up and everything for the front. So I'll get the rear drum for the passenger side on as soon as she gets here. Once I bang those frickin' things in, get a little workout in. And then I've been spraying my calipers in the front because that caliper bolt, those two caliper bolts are like, they were seized up like crazy a couple months ago. So every couple hours I've been out here spraying it with PV blaster and stuff. Hopefully I'll be able to get them loose. Finally, the rears are done. Oh, let's take this back down. Right. Holy dick. Let's go to the front. Ready to see what it looks like under here? Oh, my wheel spacer is going to be in the way. But I always forget to undo my lug nuts before I jack up the truck, so I got to chalk it. I'm interested to see. Oh, let's do it the right way. Oh, wow. I expected the rotor to be completely rusted on the front side too. Well, we probably actually busted that off using them. But those look, wow, dude. Man, that looks nasty. Let's take this off and get a closer look. Oh yeah, this looks fun. Oh, it's not the worst I've ever seen. Definitely looks better than the rear did, but we're replacing everything right there, even the locking hubs. I got some new ones of those as well. So, well, I guess let's go ahead and start taking this off, take this guy off, get the nuts off and everything off the spindle, and hopefully the spindle looks good. I got some new spindle bearings and all that too, if it doesn't look great, but I'm hoping it does, because I don't want to freaking take the spindle off. But thing I'm worried about most is getting this caliper off. Oh my gosh, guys, what the freak, dude, this stuff is just disgusting. A little bit of an issue. The top caliper bolt is completely stripped. So probably just have to figure something out with that one, cutting it out. Got a breaker bar on the bottom one here. Oh. Is it just stripping it? Oh no, it's turning. Wow, we got that one. I got the other side off with ease, but I'm not giving up. I just took the brake line off. Got myself a little pipe wrench here. Turn the wheel so I have easier access. Should have done that in the first place. Now, it's completely stripped, but the head is still sticking out, so maybe I can get on it with this pipe wrench and see if I can grip onto that sucker, but I gotta get it in the right position. Got too much teeth on it right now. Oh Lord, what happened there? Oh, I did it! No freaking way, dude. I didn't see it moving here. Holy dick, I can't believe that worked. I was about to give up. Oh my gosh. You bastard. You little bastard. Oh yeah, and then there's that freaking weird ring under here, isn't there? Yep, there you are. Oh, that frickin' birds, baby. Oh, brake clean and grease in the eyes. Yeah. Ah! There you go. Oh, gotcha, hooker. Man, I wish you guys would have seen that. Oh, I just started spinning. I'm about to run out of battery too. I just started spinning this, and the whole frickin' thing, it just goes, and it just pooped out, dude. What in the hell? That is crazy, man. What the frick? I don't even know where half the crap went. Well, there's the whole four-wheel drive. Is the next morning. Look at that four-wheel drive assembly. It is just a mess. And that freaking nut was stuck on the spindle. I could not get it off. I had to freaking sit there and hit it with a hammer. So I don't think it was working, to be honest with you. But just got all the other rings off, so this hub is ready to come off. Got enough metal shards in my fingers this week, so I'm gonna use gloves. I never use freaking gloves. And the amount of tweezer time I've had this past week, I'm like, all right, I'm wearing gloves. Bam, rear seal came off. Oh, there goes the bearing. Man, it looks gross in there, dude. That's an old, worn down brake pad. Literally was sitting on the back of this, behind the hub. It was just, it looked like a piece of the freaking rust from the back plate. And it was just sitting there. So That's probably not good. I was like, did this fall off? And I have both my brake pads right here, and this is one of the old ones. Wacko, dude. All right, look at that. Got everything dialed in. Locking hub's on now. Let's see if it works. We are not turning the drive shaft right now. Let's go ahead and lock it. Locked. Yep. And it's trying to go, but it's not because the other side. Well, that's weird. Usually that one spins all the way. My other one's just spun like 90 degrees. All right, we are good to go. So this side's done. Go ahead and get the brake caliper on. There we go, folks. She looks brand new now. All right. Golly. 3 days later, however long that took me, done. Father-in-law's coming over. He's gonna help me bleed the brakes real quick. And then we should be ready to frickin' roll. I reckon first we should say a little prayer that I didn't screw up anywhere, because that is in my nature. Dear Lord, thank you for giving me another day on this earth and giving me another day to work on this beautiful classic truck that I love so much. Lord, I worked so hard for 3 days on these brakes, and to be honest, well, you know better than me that I am not the smartest feller. But today I ask you, please, for once, let me just get this right. And let me just continue to live in your presence, Lord. I don't want to go just yet, but if that's your plan for me, I reckon I'm okay with that. Thank you, Jesus. Amen. I almost cried, actually. We'll see how this goes. Oh, brakes feel freaking amazing. Holy smokes, they haven't felt like that in forever. It's so freaking loud. Running great, man. It is loud, dude. I've got, obviously it's a 383 stroker, it's cam, you can hear that cam. It's long tube headers, Hedman headers, into a Flowmaster 44 and then cowboy style out the side. So it's loud, man. There ain't much holding it back. So we had it straight pipe first and it was too loud, and when we did the Flowmaster 44s, it still sounded like it was straight pipe, just a little deeper. So anyways, man, brakes feel great now. Adjusted the drums, feels great. So I think we're gonna go go get on the road. I don't want to go too crazy because the alignment's off. It hasn't been aligned. And I still got some steering components coming in, so we'll go do a little test run and see how it does. Brakes, I feel like there's still some air in them, which is weird because I've bled them twice. Let's do a little pull here. Yeah, there's still a little air in them, just a little bit. It's not horrible, but we got a TH350, so we'll go into first here. Shift rod a little bit because first and second I'll get the feeling of it a little better, but it feels just a little too soft for me. I'd like it to be a little harder, but with that custom bracket that we had to make for it, it's just hard, man. I don't smell tranny fluid, that's good. I say that was a gosh dang success. That was great, man. Is there anything leaking underneath? Hopefully not. Man, well, I've had this paint overspray in here forever. I need to get a little thing. And yeah, there's definitely some stuff to do now, for sure. But she's running, she's driving, and she's loud. That's for damn sure, man. And she's hard to get out of. Hope y'all enjoyed that as much as I did, man. God, this thing's finally on the road and not leaking. It's Running great. I mean, yeah, it's loud, but it's fun, man. We just drove it, finally. I haven't driven this thing more than just right here, back and forth, in and out of the shop in like 5 years. That's crazy. So, I could take this thing into town right now, go do my freaking Pilates class or something. So, I'm excited, man. Still a lot to do. If you take a look to your right there, all those boxes right there are all new parts for this thing. Some steering, some internal interior parts, headliner, carpet, and a whole bunch, door panels, all that stuff. We're going to insulate it so it's not so loud inside. Going to get a welder buddy of mine to weld up the holes in the floor, a couple other things. So there's a lot to do on it. And if you guys enjoyed a long video like this, we can definitely make more because there's plenty more to do on it. So appreciate you guys watching, man. And I reckon we'll see you right here next time on Outlaw. Oh, one more thing. Keep it freaking Outlaw!